Look, if you want to be back in Meghan's life, how about you just stop going to the media?
So here's my question to you guys, because I'd love to know what you think. So when you have a parent, let's say it doesn't seem like they've had the best relationship.
There's a strange energy hanging over Montecito these days, like the uneasy calm before a storm that everyone feels but no one dares to name. Meghan Markle, once the polished duchess turned California lifestyle guru, is reportedly inching toward a reunion no one predicted, yet maybe everyone secretly expected. Her estranged father, Thomas Markle, the very man she publicly disowned, may now be slipping back into the story. And if true, it could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Meghan's carefully controlled narrative.
Because all the Meghan supporters are saying the media needs to stop giving the Markle family a platform. Well, the Markle family seems to be quite happy to keep on talking, so if the price is right.
And here's the kicker, Prince Harry may actually be the reason this chaos is circling back. Let's rewind. Remember when Meghan broke down on Oprah's couch crying about losing her father? She framed it not as a physical death, but as an emotional one, a permanent fracture carved by betrayal, lies, and paparazzi deals. But now insiders close to Meghan say that grief is slowly morphing into regret. Not just regret over losing her father, but over everything she gave up the moment she tied herself to Harry. Because the truth is, it wasn't only her dad she left behind. She left behind an entire life, an entire identity, and maybe even her chance at controlling her own story.
You know, brothers, you know, the agents ringing around offering him, and the sister is being offered and the father's being offered. So they're working to their own agenda too. And certainly Thomas Markle is really disputing some of the stories that Meghan's been offering up about the child.
Her siblings, her family dog, even her independence, one decision rippled into 1,000 losses. And now, with the golden California glow fading fast, Meghan may be wondering if it's finally time to pick up the phone and call her father again. Here's where it gets explosive. Harry himself has, in multiple public moments, essentially admitted that he was the reason Meghan cut off contact with Thomas Markle, whether it was his advice, his judgment, or the full-blown media war they launched together. Harry's fingerprints are all over that estrangement. He admitted it in the Netflix documentary, he admitted it in Spare, and now that quiet confession could come back to bite him in a massive way.
Kind of lots of breakout stories too, that the main one being, of course, she doesn't want to be Meghan Markle anymore, she's Meghan Sussex. So people have...
Because Meghan, she's not the type to go down quietly. If the walls of her marriage really are crumbling, and trust me, the chatter says they are, she's not just going to walk away. She'll walk away with a plan, a fresh support system, and almost certainly a carefully crafted public strategy. And right now, all signs point to Thomas Markle being her next surprise move. Journalists are already circling. Paparazzi have allegedly spotted unusual activity around Thomas's place. Even Meghan's old social media posts, including that Father's Day tribute where she called herself his little buckaroo, are resurfacing. Every nostalgic caption is suddenly being reread like a clue, fueling speculation that a reconciliation is brewing. And the biggest theory sweeping through media circles, Meghan may be preparing to stage the father-daughter reunion of the decade.
Last time Meghan actually spent time around Thomas Jr. was when she was a toddler and they lived in the same home. And then she was then raised as an only child in California by her parents Doria and Thomas.
This isn't just about forgiveness, it's a play. A calculated pivot back to family optics, now that the Sussex fairy tale is unraveling. And let's be clear about who this really puts in danger. Harry Apper. Because if Meghan suddenly starts making peace with the very people he allegedly encouraged her to push away, the entire narrative flips. Overnight, Harry stops being the savior who rescued her from a toxic family, and instead becomes the villain who isolated her. Meanwhile, Meghan can slip into the role of the doting daughter, simply longing for her family back. And whether or not that's the truth almost doesn't matter, because perception is everything.
We're going to move on to our GMA cover story. It's an explosive message from Meghan Markle's half-brother. He's writing an open letter urging Prince Harry to call off the royal wedding. Adrian Banks.
Half-brother says he has a warning for the prince. Her parents and siblings continue to be a huge part of this international love story.
What matters here isn't the truth, it's perception. And Meghan knows how to spin perception better than almost anyone. But now there's another layer in play. Thomas Markle himself. For years, he's been giving interviews, practically begging for a phone call from his daughter. He's had heart surgery, he's claimed he was ghosted, he's been painted as everything from a fame-hungry opportunist to a broken-hearted father left behind. But with fresh rumors swirling that quiet communication has resumed, the narrative may be shifting yet again. And here's the wild card. What if Thomas Markle has kept every single email, every single text, every receipt?
Home, and then she was then raised as an only child in California by her parents Doria and Thomas. So their relationship has been estranged ever since then, and they've had no contact with each other, and it's only since her relationship with Harry started that he's shown interest in getting in contact to Meghan and Kensington Palace aides, asking for financial support.
Could those receipts be waiting to drop at just the right moment? Because if Meghan is truly plotting a full circle family redemption arc and Harry's left out of the frame, it's going to get messy. Very, very messy. But the real twist here isn't just Meghan reaching back into her past. It's how quickly the people around her seem to be shifting positions. Take Doria Ragland, for example. Once the quiet, elegant pillar standing loyally beside Meghan, she's now reportedly nowhere to be seen. Her silence and absence are fueling whispers that even Meghan's inner circle may be recalibrating.
So despite the House brothers' claims, we should see Daddy and Mama at the wedding. It may be the imperfection in her family that has endeared us to this American lot to handle. I mean, planning a wedding, the fact that everybody's watching you, and now this, it's a handful.
Goes out to him. It is, Adrian. Thanks so much. You're going to be there.
According to multiple sources, Doria has quietly moved out of the Montecito mansion, putting real distance between herself and the chaos. Some insiders claim she's grown disillusioned with the constant drama, while others suggest she's simply exhausted by it all. Either way, if Meghan was counting on her mother to be the emotional safety net during this storm, that net looks like it's been cut loose. With Doria stepping back and Harry's absence growing louder by the day, Meghan seems to be standing alone. But not entirely alone, because someone else may be sliding into the spotlight next.
Are you excited?
Yeah, of course.
Are you going to wear a fascinator?
I'm going to have a little fascinator, a little tilt to the side, a little attitude, a little tilt to the side.
Can I wear one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm joking. I'm not wearing a fascinator.
What'd you say if you wore a fascinator, it'd be what?
If I wore a fascinator, it would be fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Because the one person who still seems willing to pick up the phone after years of public humiliation is Thomas Markle. And the irony is hard to ignore. The same man Meghan once painted as the ultimate betrayal now appears to be the only one left who might genuinely care. And make no mistake, he does care. He always has. He just never stayed quiet about it. And that's exactly where things got messy in the first place. Now, there are whispers that Thomas isn't just open to speaking with his daughter again. He's actively preparing to defend her publicly if needed. Wild considering how openly he dragged her in the past. But this is also a man who's seen his own family torn apart, chewed up by the media, and blamed by half the internet.
And I think this is his place where he's feeling like he's doing the right thing. And I think that's how bad this is.
If I don't obviously know every in and out of their relationship, but if it were me, I would try to bring my loved one in the family. I'm not saying accept them 100%, but I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what happened, but I feel like he should be in the family. And if he doesn't want to play by my rules, then you could be out the family.
If Thomas has even the slightest chance to rebuild that bond before his health declines further, he just might take it, even if it means siding with Meghan in a fight against Harry. Especially because here's the real wild card. Thomas reportedly blames Harry far more than Meghan for the collapse of their relationship, and he's never been shy about saying it. Back in those early interviews after the royal wedding, Thomas hammered the point repeatedly. Harry never reached out, never tried to meet him, never behaved like a proper son-in-law should. And now, years later, those very interviews could resurface as powerful evidence, the kind Meghan might be able to use, not just emotionally, but even legally. Just think about the implications of that.
Family member, like, should she, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure her mom is probably not wanting for anything right now at this point. She was a former yoga instructor. And so, like, is she responsible to take care of her father like that? Whether he was there, not there, whether he was a bad father, a good father.
If things move toward divorce, and let's be honest, the signs are pointing that way. Meghan may not need to say a single word in court. Why? Because Harry has already done the damage for her. His book, his Netflix documentary, Even his casual remarks to reporters, they all paint the picture of a man who knowingly isolated his wife from her family and now openly regrets it. And if Meghan walks into court with her father by her side, armed with a stack of apologies, transcripts, and leaked messages, it's game over for Harry's narrative. Sources close to Meghan whisper she's been quietly collecting these moments, preparing for the day she might have to use them.
I didn't mind it. It didn't upset me. I love her.
Meghan, well, have a listen to this. Meghan's brother has come out to debunk some of her stories.
Okay.
Well, not surprising, brothers, the agents ringing around offering him, and the sister is being offered, and the father's being offered. So they're
not for revenge, at least not directly, but for protection. A woman like Meghan, living in the harsh glare of the spotlight, knows how quickly public opinion can flip. Sympathy is a currency, and right now, she's running dangerously low. But a tearful reunion with her father, that changes the entire equation. Suddenly, Meghan isn't the calculating duchess or the out-of-touch celebrity. She's the daughter who just wants peace, who regrets the past, and who's brave enough to repair what was once broken.
The two, and certainly Thomas Markle is really disputing some of the stories that Meghan's been offering up about the childhood, and obviously unhappy that she's now ditching the family name. I mean, she's basically ditched the family years ago, but now the family name has gone as well. This is Thomas Markle Jr.
And Harry, he instantly becomes the reason the family broke in the first place. Meanwhile, there's already buzz that Samantha Markle and Thomas Markle Jr. are watching this situation very closely. Normally, neither of them holds back from throwing shade at Meghan, but even they seem to be softening their tone. Because if Meghan and Thomas Sr. truly reunite, the rest of the family may follow or at least try to ride the wave. And that's the power of family dynamics. Once blood steps back into the picture, it has a strange way of rewriting the entire story.
Another one of the malarkey stories she sold to the royal family for sympathy.
Even with me growing up, it was so much fast food. And yes, I get when you're on a budget, super affordable, but it costs you so much in the long run.
And when you have a garden, of course, having a garden is like printing your own money.
All of this is unfolding while the palace watches quietly from a distance, bracing for whatever twist comes next. Harry may not have seen it coming, but insiders say the writing has been on the wall for months. He's been drifting, showing up solo at events, skipping joint interviews, and reportedly spending more and more time living apart from Meghan. Those close to him claim he's in a fog, struggling to understand how everything unraveled so quickly. And here's the cruel irony. The very thing Harry once swore he was protecting Meghan from her family is now shaping up to be her safe harbor. That's the kind of twist no PR team in the world can clean up. And what makes it even more brutal is that Harry's own words are now turning against him. He spoke with raw emotion about the toll the media took on Meghan. He described her isolation. He openly admitted to pushing for certain decisions, all he claimed in the name of love. But now those same confessions are being reinterpreted through an entirely different lens, a lens that frames him not as the protective partner, but as the controlling force. His once celebrated love story, praised for its bravery, is now being questioned for the damage it caused. And let's not forget, the public has always had a complicated relationship with Harry. Some saw Harry as the rebel prince finally breaking free from the institution. Others saw him as a lost soul clinging to a woman who promised escape. But now, with rumors swirling about Meghan's next pivot, sympathy for Harry is starting to evaporate. Whispers suggest Harry may soon be blindsided by leaked communications between himself and Thomas Markle, messages that, if exposed, could reveal a man torn between loyalty and fear, juggling royal rules with a messy family drama he never signed up for. And while Harry's image hangs in the balance, insiders say Meghan has been quietly preparing something big. Not another tell-all this time, but something softer, a public gesture, a carefully staged moment designed to flip the narrative once again. Maybe even a polished sit-down with her father, framed as forgiveness and healing. Cameras rolling, emotions raw, tears, hugs, redemption, all of it staged with surgical precision. Meghan knows exactly how to tug at heartstrings. She's done it before, and she's only gotten better at it now. And if that moment happens, Harry won't just be left out, he'll be exposed. Because this isn't only about a father-daughter reunion, it's about the message it sends. Meghan rebuilding her past, reconnecting with family, showcasing growth, while Harry, he's left standing still, fading into the background, more like a shadow in the story than a co-author of it. That kind of power shift doesn't just sting emotionally, it changes everything legally, publicly, and reputationally. The palace, for its part, remains silent, but don't confuse that silence with indifference. They're watching, everyone's watching. A Meghan Thomas reunion is exactly the kind of storyline the media devours, and if it snowballs into a custody battle, a divorce, or even just a messy public split, every single detail will be replayed, dissected, and weaponized against Harry. And Meghan knows it. That's why she's playing her cards with precision. No rushing, no reckless moves, just waiting for the exact moment when it matters most to strike her narrative reset. And Thomas, he's ready. After years of hurt, of waiting, of telling his side to anyone who'd listen with no real audience, this might finally be his moment. He's no longer the villain. He's the father who never gave up. And in a world where perception shapes reality, that's the kind of comeback story people eat up. In the end, whether this reunion is heartfelt or purely strategic almost doesn't matter. The emotional punch it carries, the blow it delivers to Harry, and the narrative shift it sparks are all very real. Meghan isn't just rewriting her story, she's recasting the roles. And Harry, he may be the one left standing there without a script.